Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss about education and socialization. How education plays a crucial role in the process of socialization and how the process of socialization is influenced by education. So, education and socialization. Education is a social process. This prepares individuals to lead a meaningful and dignified life. Together with other social factors, it plays an important role in shaping the structure of society. Together with other social forces, it plays an important role in shaping the structure of society. Through education, society imparts its knowledge, skills, values, and behavioral patterns to its younger generations. This is how things are passed on to new generations or younger generations, next generations by older generations. So, ensuring self preservation and continuity. In this sense, education is a process of socialization. At the same time, changes in society mold the education system. Definitely, any change occurring in society, taking place in society, will mold the education and education system. And it acquires complexity. Sometimes it acquires complexity. So, in this sense, it is a process which prepares the members of the society to adapt to the constantly changing conditions of a society. So, in this sense, education is a process of socialization. At the same time, changes in society mold the education system itself and it acquires complexity. Education, in this sense, is a process which prepares the members of the society to adapt to the constantly changing conditions of a society. Two important things which emerge from this discussion are education is a social process. It occurs in a society and therefore influenced by the society in which it takes place. Definitely, it will be or it is influenced by the society in which it takes place. If it is a progressive society, then it is like that. Values are like that. Beliefs are like that. Traditions are like that. If there is traditional society, then or conservative society, it will be education will be influenced by that. Like education of girls, education of females if it is conservative society, then it will be influenced by that number of female students will be less in comparison to male students. So things will be like that. The social milieu itself educates. School is one of the important social institutions that educate. Its role is influenced by that of others. Its role is influenced by that of others. It has a social role and is involved in molding the future society. It has a social role and it is involved in molding the future society. Education is a process of socialization. It takes place through social interaction. It is much more than mere instruction. Definitely, it is much more than mere instruction. It is much more than to give knowledge. It is much more than following classroom things, school things. So, socialization. It is not only confined to reading books. This is a very wide concept. So, it takes place through social interaction. It is much more than instruction. People receive a certain degree of education even if they never enter a school. Formal education is socialization with a deliberate purpose and in a desired direction. Formal education is socialization with a deliberate purpose and in a desired direction. Social unity. What is social unity? It refers to the cohesion and integration of individuals or groups within a society based on shared values, norms, beliefs, and goals. It refers to the cohesion and integration of individuals or groups within a society based on shared values, norms, beliefs, and goals. It is a state of harmony and cooperation among different social groups, despite their differences in cultural, religious, ideological, or socio-economic backgrounds. Social unity is crucial for the stability, progress, and well-being of societies, as it fosters trust, mutual respect, and collective action towards common objectives. Unity is integration. So it is a social psychological condition. It connotes a sense of oneness, a sense of we-ness, we feeling, oneness. We all are one. We all are united. So it stands for the bonds which hold the members of a society together. There is a difference between unity and uniformity, and both of the terms should not be confused. There is a difference between unity and uniformity. Uniformity presupposes similarity, unity doesn't. Thus, unity may or may not be based on uniformity. Remember, unity may or may not be based on uniformity. Different people for different caste come together and unite. It is not necessary that there is some uniformity. So unity may or may not be based on uniformity. It is not necessary that they speak the same language. There can be a social unity among people from different states, among people who speak different languages. So it may or may not be based on uniformity. Unity may be born out of uniformity. It is true that unity may be born out of uniformity. Durkheim calls this type of unity a mechanical solidarity. We find this type of unity in tribal societies and in traditional societies. However, unity may as well as be based on differences. It is unity and diversity, such unity which is described by Durkheim as organic solidarity. This type of unity characterizes modern societies. Now, components of social unity. Shared values and beliefs. Social unity often begins with a common set of values and beliefs that are widely accepted and respected within a society. These values may include principles of justice, equality, freedom, and tolerance. These are the components of social unity. Shared values and beliefs. Social unity often begins with a common set of values and beliefs that are widely accepted and respected within a society. These values may include principles of justice, equality, freedom, and tolerance. Cultural cohesion. Cultural unity refers to the shared cultural practices, traditions, customs, and rituals that bind members of a society together. This could include shared language, literature, arts, and heritage. This is cultural cohesion, which refers to the shared cultural practices, traditions, customs, and rituals that bind members of a society together. This could include shared language, literature, arts, and heritage. Social cohesion. Social cohesion relates to the strength of relationship and network within a society. It involves feeling of solidarity, belonging, and inclusion among individuals and groups. Social cohesion relates to the strength of relationships and networks within a society. It involves feeling of solidarity, belonging, and inclusion among individuals and groups. Economic integration. Economic factors also contribute to social unity by reducing disparities in wealth and income, providing opportunities for all members of a society to participate in economic activities and ensuring the fair distribution of resources. So, economic factors also contribute to social unity by reducing disparities in wealth and income, which is generally next to impossible. But still, we try, providing opportunities for all members of society to participate in economic activities and ensuring a fair distribution of resources. Political stability. A stable political environment where there is consensus on the rules of governance and respect for democratic processes, enhances social unity by providing a framework for resolving conflicts and addressing grievances peacefully. Political stability. A stable political environment, which is generally not seen, where there is a consensus on the rules of governance and respect for democratic processes, as in our country, enhances social unity by providing a framework for resolving conflicts and addressing grievances peacefully, promoting social unity. Next is promoting social unity. Different ways to promote. First is education and awareness. Promoting education that fosters understanding, empathy, and critical thinking can help build bridges across cultural, religious, and socio-economic divides. Promoting education is important, which fosters understanding, empathy, and critical thinking among children, which can help building bridges across cultural, religious, and socio-economic divides. Inclusive policies. Implementing policies that promote social justice, equality, and inclusivity can reduce disparities and create a more equitable society. Inclusive policies. Implementing policies which promote social justice, equality, like social justice, equal allocation of resources, equal distribution, equality in everything, in access to education, health, etc. And inclusivity can reduce disparities and create a more equitable society. Dialogue and communication. Encouraging open dialogue, communication, and cooperation among different groups can help build trust and strengthen social bonds. Encouraging open dialogue, communication, and cooperation among different groups can help build trust and strengthen social bonds. Community engagement. Supporting initiatives that bring together diverse communities for common purposes such as volunteering for social work, social activities, cultural events, and civic activities can foster a sense of belonging and shared identity. Social unity is both a goal and a process that requires ongoing efforts to bridge differences, promote understanding, and cultivate a shared commitment to the well being and progress of all members of a society. It is a foundation upon which peaceful coexistence, collective prosperity, and societal resilience are built. So, what are the components? We will go through it once again in brief. Shared values and beliefs, social cohesion, political stability, and now promoting social unity, education and awareness, inclusive policies, dialogue and communication, community engagement, etc. After social unity, we need to understand another important term which is diversity. Unity in diversity. We often hear unity in diversity. So, what is unity and why diversity is equally important? Despite being so different, coming from different backgrounds, why this unity as well as diversity is important? So, let's understand the meaning of diversity. Ordinarily, diversity means differences. However, it means something more than mere differences. It means collective differences, that is, differences which mark off one group of people from another. Ordinarily, diversity means differences. However, it means more than mere differences. It means collective differences. That is, difference which marks off one group of people from another. These differences may be of any sort: biological, religious, linguistic, etc. On the basis of biological diversity, for example, we have radical diversity. On the basis of religious differences, similarly, we have religious diversity. So, remember, diversity refers to collective differences. Diversity refers to collective differences. The term diversity is opposite of uniformity. Uniformity means similarity of some sort. Like when we see children in uniform, we see uniformity, and that is to show uniformity. Army uniform, defense people wear uniform. So uniformity, we all are one. It shows uniformity. Uniformity means similarity of some sort that characterizes a people. Uni refers to one. Form refers to the common base. So when there is something common to all the people, we say they show uniformity. Like defense people, they all wear uniform. School going children, they all wear uniform. So it shows uniformity among them. When students of a school, members of the police, or the army wear the same type of dress, we say they are in uniform. Like diversity, uniformity is a collective concept. When a group of people share a similar characteristic, be it a language or religion or anything else, it shows uniformity in that respect. But when we have groups of people from different races, religions, and cultures, we need to respect diversity. Thus, diversity the diversity means variety. For all purposes, it means variety of groups and cultures. We have such a wide variety in abundance in India. We have a variety of race, religions, languages, etc. caste, cultures. So, India is known for its socio-cultural diversity. First is religious diversity. India is a land of multiple religions. We find followers of various faiths, particularly of Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, Buddhism, Jainism, Zoroastrianism, among others. Hinduism is the dominant religion, as we know, Hinduism is the dominant religion of India. According to the census of 1981, it is professed by 82.64% of the people of the total population. So there are sects within each religion. Hinduism, for example, has many sects, including Shaiv, Shakta, and Vaishnava. Add to them the sects born or religious reforms movements such as Arya Samaj, Brahmo Samaj, Ramakrishna Mission. More recently, some new cults have come up, Radha Swami, Sai Baba, etc. Similarly, Islam is divided into Shia and Sunni, Sikhism into Namdhari and Nirankari, Jainism into Digambar and Shwetambar, and Buddhism into Hinayan and Mahayana. While Hindu and Muslim are found in almost all parts of India, the remaining minority religions have their pockets of concentration. Christians have their strongholds in southern states of Kerala, Tamil Nadu, and Andhra Pradesh, and in the northeastern states like Nagaland and Meghalaya. Sikhs are concentrated largely in Punjab, Buddhists in Maharashtra, and Jains are mainly spread over Maharashtra, Rajasthan, and Gujarat. Next is linguistic diversity. So many languages are spoken in different parts of India. Do we have any idea? I think we all have. So the famous linguist Gerson noted 179 languages and 544 dialects. And the 1971 census, on the other hand, reported 1652 languages in India which are spoken as mother tongue. Not all these languages are equally widespread. Many of them are tribal speeches, and these are spoken by less than 1% of the total population. Caste diversity. Next is As we are aware, Indian society is divided into four major castes: Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So, being a conservative social caste, 65 Indian societies and education practice in India. Still in the present in time, it has experienced to live with cooperation and cordially with each other. Indian society is the biggest example of university in diversity. There is so much diversity, still we all are united. There are equal rights for all. This describes the diversified structure and nature of Indian society, which is based on unity in diversity. India is a country of different caste, class, so that a term caste is generally used in two senses, sometimes in the sense of varna, sometimes in the sense of jati. So varna refers to a segment to the fourfold division of the society based on functional criteria. The four varna are Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, which have their specialized function in society. The Varna hierarchy is accepted all over India. Jati refers to a hereditary endogamous status group practicing a specific traditional occupation. There are more than 3,000 jatis in India. These are hierarchically graded in different ways in different regions. It may also be noted that the practice of caste system is not confined to Hindus alone. We find caste among the Muslim, Christian, Sikh, as well as other communities. We might have heard of hierarchy of Sheikh, Sayyid, Mughal, Pathan among the Muslim. Then there are castes like Teli, Thobi, oil pressure, washerman, Darji, etc. Similarly, caste consciousness among the Christian in India is not, since a vast majority of Christians in India are converted from Hindu faith. The converts have carried the caste system into Christianity. Among the Sikh, again you have so many castes including Jat Sikh, Mazhabi Sikh, etc. Next is class diversity. Class diversity encompasses the breadth of differences within a group, encompassing demographic, cognitive, experiential, ideological, and personality dimensions. It reflects the variety of backgrounds, perspectives, and characteristics among individuals within a particular educational or organizational setting. Demographic diversity includes differences in age, gender, ethnicity, race, socioeconomic status, and cultural background, which enrich learning environments by bringing together varied experiences and viewpoints. Cognitive diversity refers to differences in thinking styles, problem solving approaches, and information processing. enhancing creativity and innovation within groups. Experiential diversity encompasses varying life experiences, educational backgrounds, and skills, contributing to a broader knowledge base and fostering deeper insights. Ideological diversity involves differences in beliefs, values, and worldviews, promoting critical thinking and stimulating constructive debate. Personality diversity includes variations in different traits, communication styles, and interpersonal dynamics, influencing group dynamics and collaboration. Enhancing class diversity not only promotes or supports equity and inclusion, but also enhances learning outcomes, prepares individuals for global citizenship, and promotes innovation and personal growth in diverse and interconnected environments. Gender in society, with specific reference to Indian society with respect to living together. Gender in society, with specific reference to Indian society with respect to living together. Indian society has always revered women. In Hinduism, man and women represent the two halves of the divine body. There is no question of superiority or inferiority between them. Hindu history witnessed many prodigious women, such as Gargi, Maitri, Sulabha, whose faculty of reasoning was far superior to that of ordinary mortals. Many female deities, Ma Saraswati, Ma Durga, Ma Lakshmi, Ma Kali, are worshipped across the country. According to Mahabharata, by cherishing the women, one virtually worships the goddess of prosperity. On the darker side, the patriarchal system has continued since the time of Rigveda. Customs and values were made by men to favor men. Women suffers this discrimination. Historically, the Indian women has been made or has been prepared to adopt contradictory rules. The strength of a woman is evoked to ensure that women effectively play their traditional roles of nurturance as daughters, mothers, wives, and daughter-in-law. On the other hand, the stereotype of a weak and helpless women is fostered to ensure complete dependence on the male sex. In ancient Indian social structure, women were not treated equal to men. Even it holds true even today. Sometimes they are not treated equally. Though we say we claim times have changed, everything has changed, but to some extent it is not correct. In Indian societal and ancient Indian societal and social structure, women were not treated equal to men. But in the present day structure, women have equal rights to education and occupation. Indian social structure gives special place to women, as women are the bearers of family cultures and duties. Women in the modern Indian social structure also are the important purpose of Indian economy. For protecting the rights of females, special laws and provisions have also been made in Indian constitution. Gender dynamics in Indian society, particularly living concerning living together, intricately woven into cultural traditions and societal expectations. Historically rooted in patriarchal norms, Indian households often adhere to traditional gender roles where men are viewed as primary breadwinners and women for domestic jobs, for taking care of family, for taking care of home as caregivers responsible for household chores and other family duties. So, this division of labor extends into decisions about living arrangements, with joint families comprising multiple generations like grandparents, parents, and children being a common feature of Indian society. In such setups, hierarchy and authority traditionally favor male elders, influencing family dynamics and the distribution of responsibilities. However, societal changes driven by urbanization, education, and economic opportunities have begun reshaping these dynamics. However, societal changes driven by urbanization, education, and economic opportunities have begun reshaping these dynamics. Urban areas increasingly witness the rise of nuclear families, like we often see it or we come to know about nuclear family tradition, nuclear family in metro cities, people living separately for work, for job. So, urban areas are increasingly witness the rise of nuclear family structure in Indian societies, where couples opt for independent living to pursue career and personal aspirations. Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Bengaluru, Hyderabad. There are several examples. There are metro cities where you can see the rise of nuclear family structure in Indian society, where couples opt for independent living to pursue careers and personal aspirations. This shift challenges traditional norms. offering women more autonomy and decision making power within familiar settings. Nevertheless, even in nuclear families, gender roles often persist, albeit with adaptations influenced by individual preferences and external pressures. Moreover, while legal frameworks in India strive to protect women's rights and promote gender equality, implementation gaps and cultural resistance hinder full realization of these goals. Legal frameworks in India strive to protect women's rights and promote gender equality. Implementation gaps and cultural resistance hinder full realization of these goals. Issues such as domestic violence, dowry related conflicts, unequal access to resources continue to affect women's experiences in both joint and nuclear family context. While Indian society exhibits a blend of traditional patriarchal values and emerging egalitarian trends, gender dynamics in living arrangements reflect an evolving landscape shaped by economic, educational, and cultural factors. As aspirations for gender equality continue to evolve, the complexity of living together in Indian society requires ongoing dialogue, policy support, and cultural transformation to ensure equitable and inclusive familial environment for all individuals. Gender dynamics in Indian society, particularly concerning living together, are deeply influenced by cultural traditions, societal expectations, and evolving norms. Traditionally, Indian society has been patriarchal, where men are typically viewed as the primary providers and decision makers within families, while women are assigned roles as homemakers and caregivers. This traditional division of labor often extends to decision about living arrangements where joint families comprising multiple generations living together have been predominant. In joint families, hierarchical structures traditionally favor male elders, wield significant authority over family affairs and decision making processes. This setup reinforces gender norms and expectations. In joint families, hierarchical structures traditionally favor male elders, who wield significant authority over family affairs and decision making processes. This step reinforces gender norms and expectations, shaping relationships and roles within the household. Women in joint families often navigate complex dynamics where their roles as wives, daughter in law, and mothers are tightly intertwined with familiar duties and obligations. These dynamics can sometimes restrict women's autonomy and decision making power, influencing their ability to express individual aspirations or pursue independent careers. However, societal changes driven by urbanization, economic opportunities, and education have brought about shift in family structures and gender roles. Nuclear families comprising parents and their children living independently. Societal changes driven by urbanization, economic opportunities, and education have brought about shifts in family structures and gender roles. Nuclear families comprising parents and their children living independently are increasingly very common, particularly in urban areas. This trend reflects changing aspirations and lifestyles, where couples prioritize autonomy and privacy in their living arrangements. Nuclear families often provide women with more opportunities for personal and professional growth. Allowing them, nuclear families often provide women with more opportunities for personal and professional growth, allowing them greater independence and control over their lives compared to traditional joint family setups. Despite these shifts, challenges persist in achieving gender equality within Indian households. Deeply entrenched cultural norms, patriarchal attitudes continue to influence family dynamics and decision making processes. Issues such as gender based violence, unequal access to resources, and disparities in inheritance rights remain prevalent. particularly in rural and conservative communities. Legal reforms and initiatives promoting women's empowerment have made significant strides in addressing these challenges. Legislation against dowry, domestic violence, and workplace harassment seeks to protect women's rights and promote gender equality. Additionally, educational campaigns and awareness programs aim to challenge traditional gender roles and foster more equitable relationships within families and communities. So, gender dynamics in Indian society with respect to living together reflect a complex interplay of tradition, modernization, and evolving social norms. While traditional patriarchal values continue to shape family structures and gender roles, societal changes and legal reforms are gradually paving the way for greater gender equality and empowerment. Achieving a more inclusive and equitable society requires ongoing efforts to challenge stereotypes, promote women's rights, and create supportive environments that allow individuals to thrive irrespective of gender. So, to summarize, we can say education, culture, and socialization play pivotal role in shaping the fabric of our Indian society, encompassing concepts of social unity, diversity across caste, class, religion, human languages, and gender dynamics within familiar context. In Indian social unity, in India, social unity revolves around fostering a shared sense of identity, belonging among its diverse populace. This unity is often nurtured through cultural practices, national symbols, and celebrations that transcend regional, linguistic, and religious boundaries. However, challenges such as caste discrimination, economic disparities, and regional tensions can strain social cohesion, necessitating efforts to promote inclusivity, tolerance, and understanding across different social groups. Unity and diversity of caste, class, religion, and human language. India's rich tapestry of diversity is evident across multiple dimensions. The caste system, although officially it is abolished, but it still exists. If not openly, it is in it is like a mindset, right? This is from lower she person is from lower caste. So we will not sit with them, we will not get along with them. So though it is officially abolished, but it still exists in our mind. It continues to influence social structures and identities because it is not outside, it is on our mind. It exists, impacting access to resources and opportunities. Economic disparities range from affluent urban elites to marginalized rural populations, highlighting ongoing efforts to address income equality and enhance social mobility. Religious diversity manifests through various faiths, including Hinduism, Islam, Christianity, Sikhism, Buddhism, and Jainism. each contributing distinct beliefs, practices, and cultural traditions. Linguistically, India boasts a multitude of languages recognized at both state and national level, reflecting its multicultural heritage and linguistic richness. Gender in society, with a specific reference to Indian society, conveys that gender roles in Indian society are traditionally defined within familial contexts, shaping living arrangements in Indian society are traditionally defined within familial contexts, shaping living arrangements and domestic responsibilities. So, in joint families prevalent across many regions, hierarchical structures often favor male authority figure, influencing decision making and social dynamics. Women typically assume roles as homemakers and caregivers, navigating complex familial obligations and social expectations. Conversely, nuclear families, increasingly common in urban areas, afford women afford women greater autonomy and opportunities for personal and professional growth. So, while India celebrates its cultural diversity and strives for inclusive social unity, ongoing efforts are essential to address existing disparities, challenge stereotypes, and promote equality across all sectors of society.